McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop, Season 2, Episode 11. Questions and Plans. October 7th, 1921. Well, I had a good sleep. And by that, I mean I woke up on a scratchy green carpet with a crick in my neck. Honestly, diary, why am I cursed when it comes to sleeping in a bed? I sleep in cages and barns, and then get one night in Buckingham Palace, and then I spend the night on the floor, and it smells a little bit like mothballs. And crypt. Ariana tried to sleep on the table, because she said the floor was too scratchy, but I said I thought that made her look like a pagan sacrifice in the making. She finally gave up and slept upright in a chair. Needless to say, neither of us slept very well. Before we went to bed, one of the Magic Unusuals came in around 9 o'clock and brought us sandwiches. She said, "Sorry, but Mr. McGillicuddy won't be back until later, and we can't let you out until then." I said I understood. Ariana sulked. But what else was there to do? I ate a sandwich. They were good, too, full of beef and cucumber. That was last night. At this point, I'm getting terribly bored. I wonder when Mr. McGillicuddy will be back, or if he went on a tour of France and won't return until next year. I think I might try hammering on the door and begging someone to talk to me. Well, diary, it's later. Much later, actually. I tried listening at the door, but that was fairly boring. I heard people pass and greet each other cheerfully in the halls. I heard water run through pipes and doors slam. The night enthusiasts meet only occasionally in a cave. They seem to live separate lives, only gathering for rituals and cult meetings. These Magic Unusuals all seem to live here, like an underground boarding school for adult Magic Unusuals. It's a charming prospect, but there's only so much of it you can listen to before you become stir-crazy, more stir-crazy than ever. Finally, when I was ready to start doing butterfly loop knots with Ariana's hair, someone came in. It was the young man from last night, the one who insisted we get locked in here. In good lighting, I saw that he was about 19 years old. He carried himself very somberly. He was lean and had a large nose. "I'm sorry that this is taking so long," he said. "Don't mention it," I said. "Do mention it," Ariana said. The young man cast Ariana a hostile glance. "Pardon me, but I wasn't talking to you." Ariana glared at him. "We'll be sending more food shortly," the young man said to me. "My name is Rupert. I'm sorry that I can't be of more assistance, but there's protocol. I'm sure Mr. McGillicuddy will release you when he arrives, but until then, I'm going to keep things as they should be." "Why do you trust Maud so much?" Ariana said. The young man's lip stiffened, and he stared at the wall. "Are you just going to act like I'm invisible?" Ariana said. "The night enthusiasts killed my friend, and I'll never forgive you," Rupert said. "I don't respect, speak to, or tolerate night enthusiasts. You're lucky that you're here at all." Ariana lay back in her chair and shut her eyes, furious. I wanted to know who the night enthusiasts had killed, but I'd just met Rupert, and it didn't seem appropriate to ask. "You said you knew who I was," I said, "last night." "Well, yes," Rupert said. "Assuming you are who you say you are, then you're Maud Merkel, the one the night enthusiasts set up as a murderer. That was quite the scandal down here with us. We were shocked that even the night enthusiasts would do something like that. They killed real people, you know, for no reason except to hang your name on the crimes. We were outraged. There was even a conspiracy down here to go and fetch you, expressly against Mr. McGillicuddy's wishes. I was not part of that conspiracy, but I did sympathize with you." I made a mental note to find who had been a part of that conspiracy and go befriend them. "So anyway, Maud, if there's anything I can do to make this waiting game easier on you—" "There is," I said. "Yes?" he said. "What would you like?" "What would I like?" I said. "I want to learn how to cast a skull spell. I want to know exactly who Noble James was. I want to know why he stopped working for the night enthusiasts and started working secretly for Mr. McGillicuddy." I paused, and I cast an awkward glance at Ariana. "I want to know how he regained the part of his soul that he killed, if he did regain it. I want to know how he became good again." Ariana stared fixedly at the ceiling. "I want to know who you all are and what you call yourselves. Day enthusiasts? Light enthusiasts? Rupert smirked. I want to know what it is you do, and what makes you different from the night enthusiasts, and when that rift began. I want to know what part of themselves night enthusiasts kill, if you know the answer to that. This time, it was Ariana's turn to cast an awkward glance at me. That's too many questions, Rupert said. But once you're free to move about the basement, we'll teach you how to cast skull spells. And everything else. It may seem daunting at first, but there aren't many spells you can cast as a magic unusual. They tend to revolve around teleportation only. Most people have a unique magic unusual power, and that's how we specialize, and really get things done. Otherwise, you can teleport, cast skull spells, not much else. And if you don't mind, he said, casting a cruel glance at Ariana, I'd rather not talk about Noble James just now. All right, I said. But as to what we're called, Rupert said, we're not so pretentious that we have a name, not officially. We say, I belong to the pawn shop. You know, if someone were to ask you, oh, are you a night enthusiast? You'd say, no, I belong to the pawn shop. I liked it. Do you have an initiation ceremony? I said. Something dangerous on the bottom of the sea? What do you think we are, a cult? Rupert said. You belong to the pawn shop if you want to, and if you're willing to keep all the bits of your soul alive. We're not the only good crew of magic unusuals out there, and the night enthusiasts aren't the only crew of bad magic unusuals out there. Magic unusuals are all over the world. Some communities are better than others. Personally, I think we're the best of the best. But in this part of the world, we're the ones in conflict with each other, the night enthusiasts, and the ones that belong to the pawn shop. We'd be happy to mind our own business, but someone has to keep the night enthusiasts in line. The night enthusiasts are more dangerous than most groups, and they could do more magic than we can. Because they do things they shouldn't to get that power. There was an awkward pause. I'm sorry, do you need anything else? More food? Water? Some blankets and books might be nice, I said. I'll see to it, Rupert said. He nodded to me, ignored Ariana, and ducked out. I heard him lock the door, and then I heard him say, What's that? I shuffled closer and laid my ear against the wood. A girl was talking to Rupert in low tones outside. You know you shouldn't, the girl said. Shouldn't what? Rupert snapped. It's dangerous having her here, the girl said. I think we should tell her to leave. Mr. McGillicuddy never intended to throw her out, Rupert said. He intended to get her here eventually when it was safe. Well, she's here. This is what he wanted in the long run. He's not going to kick her out. She's one of us. It's not safe to have her here, and you know it, the girl said. They weren't talking about Ariana, they were talking about me. I'm not used to being the center of attention, and I keep forgetting how dangerous and important I could be, if I chose. A magic unusual who can break spells and curses with a single wish? Not that I know what I'm doing yet. I couldn't get out of that night enthusiast's cage. But sooner or later, I'll be a force to be reckoned with. Does that thought give you shivers, diary? It does me. Suddenly, in the hallway outside, someone new joined the conversation. Mr. McGillicuddy is here, a boy said. And he's mad. We hope you've enjoyed Season 2, Episode 11, Questions and Plans, of McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop. McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop is written and performed by Minerva Sweeney Wren, all rights reserved. If you wish you were a magic unusual, fear not. When you subscribe to or review this podcast, you perform a magical deed by making it far more attractive to potential listeners. You can also gain magical powers by becoming a $1 patron at patreon.com/SweeneyWren. Results are not guaranteed. McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop will continue with Season 2, Episode 12, Magic Unusuals, Dead and Gone.